this is Jacen Cherokee with Story System from the Literacy Coalition, and welcome back. Today we'll be learning about weather vanes, which measure which direction the wind is blowing. Yeah?
That's right. A lot of times when you see a weather vane, you'll see a second spinning tool along with it called an anemometer. Anemometers measure the wind's speed, and a weather vane tells you what direction the wind is going.
Yeah.
So the supplies you need for today are a paper plate, a cup, a straw, a needle or a pin, a thin piece of cardboard, a pencil, some scissors, tape or glue, and a ruler, and a compass.
Alright, and a good book to think about this would be Just a Big Storm
by Mercer Mayer's Little Critter series. And there's also books about wind and storms like Hurricane Katrina and other bad storms that blow through our area, especially here in Florida. Now, for our thin cardboard, we just used a part of an old Mountain Dew box, nothing fancy.
Yeah.
We took our paper plate and we take a cup. It can be plastic or it can be paper or it can be styrofoam. And we taped it on right about in the center.
Yeah, and then what you should do next, you should grab a pencil and poke it through the middle.
Right. It doesn't need to go through the paper. The idea is just to help hold the pencil in the air for the base of your weather vane.
Yeah, and next up you need a straw.
So we took our cardboard and we measured out a 3.5-inch square, and then we measured out a triangle. The square is going to go on one end and the triangle is going to go on the other.
Yep, so we already cut one part, but I'm going to cut the next.
Now what's cool is if you've got a straw that has stripes, that way you know you're cutting in the same direction.
Yeah, this one I believe was from McDonald's.
Yeah, something like that. That's perfect, Jace. Yep.
So if you go to McDonald's and want to do a weather vane, get a straw from it and it would be really useful.
That works. Now, if you find that your parts of your weather vane are starting to like fly off, then you just need to tape them in place and that should be fine. All right, so Jacen's got his arrow. Now he's gonna take his pencil, sit your arrow down for just a second. He's gonna take his pencil and on the plate, he's going to write down, you can use the second pencil, honey.
Yeah.
He's gonna write down an N, an S, an E, and a W. So one side gets an N.
Sorry, I messed up.
Okay, there's his N.
Yeah.
On the opposite side of the N, he'll put an S for south, and then he'll put a W on the left side and an E on the right side. And what are those four directions?
North, east, south, and west.
And this is where you use your compass so that you can line your weather vane up with the right direction.
So the compass this way is showing that north is that way.
Okay, so
we should turn north that way.
Perfect. Now, he's going to take his weather vane and his arrow.
So we got my
You got your arrow. Now he's going to get a needle. We have a large needle that we used, and we put it on a piece of foam so that we wouldn't lose the needle in the yard.
Yeah.
And you're going to gently take it. If you need an adult's help, go right ahead. Gently take it and poke it through a hole in the middle of your weather vane. You want to go all the way through.
You should probably put the sharp part in, not the non-sharp.
Yep, just be super careful so you don't poke yourself.
Do I poke it all the way through?
Yeah, all the way through. And then you're gonna, you okay?
Yeah, it's kind of hard. It's really small and both parts are kind of sharp.
What's really cool, you can always get an adult to help you out. You can use you can take your needle and push it against a hard surface. So Jacen, take the arrow in both hands and push it against a hard surface, and that'll push the needle right through. That was way easier, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, take the end of that, the sharp part of the needle, and stick it inside the eraser part of your pencil.
Sorry, the triangle got a little messed up.
That's okay. We might take a piece of tape on that triangle if it tries to fall apart. So now take the sharp part, stick it in the end of the eraser.
Stick it this way to see if it...
Whatever's easiest for you. Uh-huh.
Man. Man, it's difficult.
The needle's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah. I thought there was something else you could use, but you can't.
You can use a push pin, but the important thing is you have to be able to let it spin. Now we used our ruler to measure out the size of our triangle. That's pretty good. Yep. Does it spin?
Sort of.
Well, it's because the wind is going to keep changing its direction.
Just trying to push the needle in.
Nope, that's just fine. So what happens if you turn the vane itself? You've got it aligned north.
Okay,
Let's
I'm gonna
turn
turn
it.
it this way and see if the... Okay, it said no. It said no.
So as soon as Jacen turned it to the west, we can see right now that the arrow is blowing right between the west and the north. So we know that the wind is blowing northwest right now because it's right between the two.
Oh, now it's pointing west.
Shifts a little bit so that it's west if Jacen wants to turn it to see if it points somewhere else. And it doesn't take much of a breeze for it to start to turn it back in a different direction. And of course, it's been really windy today, and then it stopped all of a sudden. But if you find that it's too windy for your weather vane, you can also put pennies or rocks around the plate, and that'll help you out too. So thank you so much for watching.
This program was brought to you by...
Underneath.
Oh, it's
There we go.
So, the Children's Service Council of Palm Beach County, Primetime, and Literacy Coalition Stories in STEM, and that is pointing even more.
Thank you so much for watching.
And we'll see you next time on the next Stories in STEM. Cut.